Hey Burp Squad, welcome to today's video. I am so excited to have you here. If you are new here, hello, my name is Victoria Ryan. This little blue dude is Bobbles, my Quaker bear, and then the little green butt is Yoshi, my yellow-sided green cheek conure. And if you're new and you like this video, don't forget to peck that subscribe button to join the Burp Squad, and let's go ahead into the video. I'm actually very surprised that I haven't done one of these videos before, but I wanted to give you guys my take and my thoughts and my opinions on what I think are great beginner birds. And there's also a couple of these that I have written down that aren't necessarily parrots, but I really wanted to throw them in the mix because I feel like we should give them a chance because they're awesome birds. So no matter what level of experience you guys have with birds, there's a species that can fit your experience level. What are you guys doing? And the main goal here is listening to the different types of species that I'm going to give to you guys and think which one would fit my lifestyle. We're going to go over the pros, the cons, and also the price tag that you're going to be looking at when researching and getting into the nitty-gritty of these birds. The first one that I want to get completely out of the way because everybody mentions these are finches and canaries. I personally, they're beautiful birds. They're so cool to look at, but there it is. You just look at them. If you're looking for that parrot companionship, that's not really there with finches and canaries. And if you're thinking, well, what do I get, finch or canaries? Well, there are several different types, but just remember that all canaries are finches. But they are great if you're just getting into birds and you don't really have enough time to take care of a parrot because I'm sure you know by now parrots are a lot of work. They take a lot of time and they crave your attention. But finches and canaries don't really want that. They're great if you don't have a lot of time on your hands. They're fun to watch and they make the cutest, cutesy little noises. A couple of the cons is you don't get that parrot companionship that a lot of us look for in a bird. They're very delicate. They're super small. They are about the size of Popples' foot. Well, that's a stretch, but they are super small. And more than likely, they're not going to be tame. Even if you try really hard to mess with them and handle them, they don't really want to be handled. They just want to fly around and do their thing. They want to socialize with other finches and canaries. They're just not really ones that you have a parrot companionship with. Budgies. Oh my gosh. I have such a soft spot for budgies. I love them so much. They're beautiful. They're hilarious to watch. And I don't know, they're just those cutesy little burbs and they make the cutest little noises. Like, I love budgies. They're playful. They are always moving. So they are just always active. They're doing their thing. And if you see one sitting by themselves, just alone, not moving, budgies are just always moving. They're always active. They're just so funny. They're like a little kid just like constantly getting into things. They're just so much fun to watch. They're trainable. They can be hand tamed. They have the potential to talk if you get a male one. And they're honestly just that fun little buddy. You can put them in your pocket. They'd be a little pocket bird. They're just so much fun. Like, I love budgies. Now, some of the cons, some of these cons that you hear may not be cons to you, but they're kind of just, in my opinion, would be cons, and for the typical parrot enthusiast, they could be seen as cons. And if they're not cons to you, that's awesome. That's a better chance that they're going to fit your lifestyle and you're going to enjoy them that much more. Cons for budgies, they don't typically live as long as most parrots. Like, most parrots live anywhere from like 25 to 40 years. Some of them go way past that. Like, macaws can live up to like 80 years. You won't get that in a budgie. They live typically about 15 to 20. And they're not as fond as petting as some of the parrots do. Like, you'll see other parrots that just love to be cuddled and they get little scritches on their head. Budgies aren't typically like that. If you work with them enough, they'll definitely enjoy little scritches. And they'll definitely just love being your companion. They are just the cutest. Parrotlets and lovebirds. I group these two together because they are completely different species, but they are a lot of like as far as like personality wise, the price tag. They both can be taught tricks. They love to be socialized. They're all super smart. They're playful. And they both have the potential to talk. Just so cute to watch them. Like, even if you're not engaging with them, they're hilarious to watch. But they do need a lot of socialization, just like any other parrot. They need and they crave the attention and companionship from the humans. Now, something I do want to mention about parrotlets and lovebirds, and this is another reason why I grouped them together. They both are feisty. It is amazing of just the feistiness that is inside these tiny little birbs. They have an attitude. Just keep in mind that they can have a little bit of an attitude with you. You just have to be prepared. Their bites don't really hurt that much, but it is a bite, so it's going to hurt. But parrotlets do not work well with other species. So if you already have a different species type of bird home with you, you're going to have to more than likely keep them in separate cages, and introducing may take a little bit longer just because they don't work well with other species. Now, with their own kind, it's more than likely, but with other species, nada. Both of these are funny, they're entertaining, they're cute, hilarious. They have the potential to learn tricks, have the potential to mimic and talk. Burke's parakeets. I haven't really talked much about these on any of my videos, and I don't hear too many people talk about them, but I'm going to link a couple videos in my description box of another YouTuber here that has a rosy bird parakeet, super cute, and it's very informative, so I highly recommend that you watch Love a Pet's video. It will be in my description box. But Burke's parakeets are so cute. Another species that's like that all-around great bird to have as a first-time, beginner parrot owner. They're sweet, they're loving, they are just that all-around like cutesy, lovable bird. I would definitely check out Burke's. And they're also a very hardy bird. Like, yes, all birds, like I've said, are very delicate, but these are a little bit more hardy species compared to the parrotlets and lovebirds and budgies. And they're great with children because they're not really known for being nippy or aggressive or anything like that. But a couple of the cons that you may see as a con, they're not known for talking, doing tricks, mimicking, or anything like that. They are a simple bird as far as like not being hilarious, like clown-like and goofy, or having a very outgoing personality. You're not really going to get that in a Burke, but they're great as that first-time beginner bird owner, especially if you have kids. Now, doves. They're not parrots, but I really wanted to mention them because they are great birds, especially if you're a beginner. The most popular ones that people keep as pet are typically the diamond doves and the ringnecks. There's a lot of doves that you should not keep as pets, but these two are the most common, the most popular that people usually try to get as a pet. They're easy to care for, they have very calm personalities, and they're very inexpensive too. They don't bite or pluck or chew on things like parrots will. There are a couple cons that you should be aware of. It's not that they're loud, but they do make a lot of cooing sounds. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like ongoing sounds, it may annoy you having a dove. But as far as like being loud, they're not typically known for being loud. It's just that ongoing like cooing sound. And they're not really good for small children just because you know how small kids are like sporadic and they're all over the place and they're just jumping and they're unpredictable. Doves can't really handle that unpredictableness. They're very calm, they're very delicate creatures, and they typically don't like to be alone. And that's where you'll see a lot of people recommend that you get two doves because they do enjoy being around other species of their kind. Cockatiels. Oh my Lanta. They are funny birds, and everyone and their mother will recommend a cockatiel for you. They're super easy to find. I wouldn't say that they're just the perfect bird, but they're pretty close. I mean, they are so funny. They'll mimic, they'll whistle. They are very clown-like. They have an outgoing personality. They're a lot of fun. And to me, that's the perfect size parrot, especially if you're just getting into birds and you want something that's, in the middle. Cockatiels are great for that. They do have these great personalities in a smaller parrot package. So if you're wanting something that's a lot like a budgie but bigger, I recommend a cockatiel because they are hilarious birds. But some of the cons, with a big personality comes bigger problems, if you will. Like, they are more than likely to show anger more. They will hiss when they're mad. Also need a lot of attention. They want to be with you all the time. So if you're kind of pressed for time and you don't really feel like you're going to be able to care for a parrot like you should, I don't recommend a cockatiel because they do want to be with you all the time. They're all over the place. They want plenty of toys. They're definitely more care than a budgie, but they're also, I feel like, a lot more fun than a budgie or a lovebird or a parrotlet. There's a reason why you see so many parrot compilations on YouTube with cockatiels in it because they are goofy, they're funny, and they're very outgoing, and they're always into something. Now this next one, oh my gosh, I am so excited to talk about these because you guys know I have a special place in my heart for green cheeks and dusky parakeets. Come here, sit on my shoulder. There you go. This is a yellow-sided green cheek conure, and I love my Yoshikins. He is quiet, he's hilarious, and he is so much fun to have around. My kids love him. He has clearly beautiful colors. He doesn't really, I hate to say that he'll never talk because green cheeks do have the potential to talk. It's just more unlikely and they're not really known for talking. But I see people in my comments all the time saying that their green cheek talks. So it's definitely possible if you want a bird that talks. Look into it, but don't expect it. And he is that all in all perfect family bird. Like, he is well socialized with everyone in the family, and he just, I hate to just keep going on and on about green cheeks, but like, I love him. And dusky parakeets are the same way. And actually, the more breeders that I've talked to, the more they actually choose the personality of a dusky more than a green cheek. Duskies aren't typically as pretty as the green cheeks, especially the different color mutations. But I feel like they are so overlooked sometimes because they do have an awesome personality, and I have yet to meet a dusky that I didn't like. They are so cute, so funny, so affectionate, so cuddly, and they're just that all in all, like, I love duskies. You are set on a green cheek, I really don't think you can go wrong. And they are more inexpensive than a dusky. But please don't overlook duskies because they are great birds. But here's the thing with green cheeks. Yes, I'm talking about you, buddy. I love you. Green cheeks are typically pretty nippy, and most conures, as much as I dislike the word, they're a juvenile, they're pretty nippy the majority of the time. Once you can get past that, they're amazing birds. Yoshi is going to be 3 this June, and he is just fantastic. But it's like getting past that first year is what's really going to make a difference. But he does take a lot of attention. He's ornery. He is into everything. So basically a toddler with wings. As much as I love Yoshi, he does have some cons. Like I said about being nippy the first year, he is quite the messy bird. He'll fling his food. He'll give me a great bath almost every morning. And he takes my food. And I do not share my food with anyone. Okay guys, so these next 2 species that I'm going to talk about, hear me out. A lot of people wouldn't recommend these for beginner birds, but I really wanted for you guys to give them a chance. This next one is a Meyer's parrot, and some of the other bird owners are like, what? What are you doing recommending these to first-time bird owners? Hear me out. Meyer's parrots are loving, they're sweet, they're kind, they're gentle, they are great birds. Usually a great choice with kids. But here are some of the negatives that kind of turn people off from Meyer's parrots. They can be a little aggressive during breeding season. Feisty, they're ornery, and most importantly, they are stubborn. They have more potential to be cage aggressive than compared to green cheeks and duskies. And all in all, they're going to be a little bit more work. Now here's the deal. This is why I recommend Meyer's parrots. If you can get past these cons, they are the most loving, sweetest, forgiving birds. But unfortunately, not a lot of people want to work with birds like that. They instantly want this, love you for life, great companion. And they will be. All birds, no matter which one you choose, are going to be some work at some point. And everyone that I have talked to about Meyer's parrots and other bird owners that have one, they love their bird to pieces. It's just knowing how to work with one. So if you're in that phase to where it's like you're ready for something more than a budgie or a finch, but you also don't want something that's just like super easy. Like you want something to work with and put time and a lot of energy into. You should look into a Meyer's because they are fantastic birds. You just got to give them a chance and you got to be patient. Now, if you're not patient and you're not willing to work with the bird, then yes, don't get a Meyer's because it just takes a special someone to give them a chance. What are you picking at on my face? And the next one, these birds. The next one is a Caique. They have the potential to be a great bird for first-time bird owners. They are, oh my Lanta, energetic. They are playful, loving, and like Meyers, can be very independent and are good with playing with their toys and doing their own thing, waiting for you to come home and play with them. They are excellent birds. They are just so funny, clown-like, hilarious, and they're another one that's great with children. But here's the cons of them. They can be aggressive, they can be stubborn, and they can be loud. They have random mood swings, and they are determined. If they see a toy that they want across the room, they will get that toy because they are determined to get that. All of these, like, cons, you may be like, why would a beginner bird owner be able to handle this? Again, it's another one like the Meyers. If you have somewhat of an experience, like you've been around birds, but you've never technically owned one, you may be ready for a Meyers or Caique Parrot. But again, if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to put in the time, you can very much so do it. But if your lifestyle does not fit either of these and you just honestly just don't feel like you're ready, well then yeah, don't push yourself to it. Don't feel like you have to. No one is forcing you, and I'm not recommending these two pairs for just any beginner. I feel like if you're that right type of person that I'm describing, well, then by all means, get it. They're great birds. Not all beginners have to get a canary and finch. Not all beginners have to get a budgie or lovebird or anything like that. You may be ready for something like this. Just be prepared of what you may be facing. This last one, oh my gosh, peonies. They are the most underrated birds, I feel like, of the bird kingdom. They are beautiful in my eyes. They are just that, I mean, they're perfect. Like, I mean, I hate to say that, oh, this is the perfect bird, but they are perfect. The reason why I feel like they are so underrated is because of the whole conure status. Everyone's pushing conures because they are bright, they're colorful, just, oh my gosh, look at them, they're so bright, they have the potential to talk, they're everything that most people want in a pair companion. But a peonies has very subtle beauty that I feel like it just makes them so beautiful. And yes, they don't fit the category of like a sun conure that's just oh so gorgeous, or you know, Yoshi, who has the bright yellow on his chest and the bright red. Yes, they won't have that. But if you want that great companion that's not only quiet, they're independent, they're loving, they're cuddly, they're just great to have, look into peonies. And because of them being so underrated, and they're typically pretty difficult to breed in captivity, they are getting harder and harder to find, and of course, which bumps up the price tag. But if you can find one from like a rescue center, or if you know someone that's wanting to give theirs up for adoption, peonies are great birds. As far as like size goes, they're definitely bigger than Popples, my Quaker parrot here, but they're not a huge bird. They're not a macaw or anything like that. Like they're a nice little hefty chicken, but they're nothing extraordinarily huge that you can't handle. Now, some of the cons, I guess you would say, about peonies is that some people say that they have like a very musky smell that kind of turns them off. It's nothing that I've ever noticed, and quite frankly, doesn't bother me, and I don't feel like it's as strong as some people say it is, but again, that could be just me. They're not typically clingy like green cheeks and duskies and parrots like that. And they're, like I said before, they are hard to breed in captivity. So if you're looking to breed them, it is a little bit difficult in captivity. And they're not huge whistlers or talkers. They're definitely not like cockatiels in that sense, like always mimicking and always whistling. You're not going to get that typically in a peonies. But if you just want that all in all, just funny, cutesy little chicken, I highly recommend peonies. They're great. Like, I cannot say enough great things about peonies. And quite frankly, it was kind of difficult to come up with cons with them. They're amazing birds. And lastly is like a little bonus breed. If you're looking into a huge bird, I typically do not recommend larger breeds of parrots, like cockatoos and macaws for beginners. But to be honest, like, if you, for whatever reason, like, you've worked with birds, or heck, if you're prepared for it and you've done your research and you know what's ahead, by all means. The one large bird that I would recommend is a hyacinth macaw. They are known as the gentle giants, and if I'm thinking of the right parrot, they're like the largest parrot in the parrot world. They're beautiful, they're kinder, and they're typically easier to deal with than a lot of different macaws. But again, I typically don't recommend larger birds for first-time bird owners. But those are my recommendations. Let me know in the comments if you agree with any of them, if you disagree, or if you want to change it up and you want to add some different ones, like, oh, I recommend this species. Definitely let me know in the comments so it can help other people out that are looking into getting their first-time bird. And also just keep in mind, even though that these are my recommendations and my thoughts on what you should look at, these parrots aren't just for any and everyone. Find the one that fits your lifestyle. Find the one that you feel like are ready for. But do what you feel like fits your lifestyle. Not all these birds fit every single person. So definitely look into those. And I hope that this gives you guys some direction and gets you thinking about which bird fits my lifestyle. Which bird am I willing to put in the time and the effort for? Because there is a bird species for everyone that is wanting to be a bird enthusiast. It's just finding the right one that fits you. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Sorry that you watched my birds' butts again, but hey, we'll figure this out. They wanted to show off their pretty feathers, huh? But thank you guys so much, and don't forget to pack that subscribe button to join the Burb Squad, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys. Are you mad at me because I didn't recommend your species? Huh? I'm sorry. You're just a little Mr. Grumpy Pants. It's because I don't think the world deserves you. I want to save all the Quaker parrots for me. When you think of that. He's like, I don't believe it. You're full of lies. You sit on a throne of lies, woman.